Turns out all Trump had to do was threaten to starve poor people, and he got his way. I'm sure he'll never do it again. And if there's one thing we know about Trump and his merry band of sycophants, it's that their word is as good as gold.
Trump's latest government shutdown spectacle reveals the psychology of a man who treats governing like a reality show elimination round. The president just demonstrated that when you combine unchecked ego with legislative leverage, you get a 41-day hostage crisis where the ransom is millions of Americans' health care. Jimmy Kimmel dissected this Trump masterclass in political extortion on his show, exposing how the former game show host turned governance into a high-stakes game of chicken where poor people are the collateral damage. Trump has perfected the art of weaponizing human suffering for political wins, operating from a playbook where cruelty is strategy and capitulation is inevitable. This is Trump in full dealmaker mode, where reality becomes whatever serves his immediate need for a perceived victory. Trump's fundamental operating system runs on a simple algorithm. Threaten the vulnerable, wait for opposition to fold, declare total victory, repeat. The 41-day government shutdown wasn't governance, it was performance art with a body count. Trump managed to force Democrats into eating sand for 41 days by holding federal workers and benefit recipients hostage, all to extract a vague promise about a future healthcare vote. Notice the beautiful irony here. Trump claims to be the ultimate negotiator, yet his signature move is threatening to starve poor people until his opponents surrender out of basic human decency. It's not negotiation, it's extortion dressed in a red tie. The genius of Trump's strategy is that he's made shame obsolete as a political currency. Most politicians would hesitate before publicly threatening to cut food assistance programs. Trump turns it into a flex, a demonstration of power that says, I can threaten millions and face zero consequences. His confidence is breathtaking certainty, meeting spectacular wrongness, a combination that would sink any normal politician, but somehow propels Trump forward like a runaway train fueled by pure audacity and the enabling of his merry band of sycophants.
Trump is also doing his best to cut off SNAP benefits for civilians. I think I figured out why Trump hates SNAP so much.
Trump's obsession with cutting SNAP benefits reveals the psychology of a man who measures worth in attention and loyalty, not human need. The president who lives in gold-plated towers, who has never experienced food insecurity for a single day of his privileged life, has appointed himself the arbiter of who deserves to eat. Kimmel perfectly captured the absurdity. Trump's tiny fingers might explain his war on SNAP, but the deeper truth is darker. Trump treats federal assistance like a business expense to be slashed, forgetting that unlike his failed casinos and bankrupt ventures, these programs keep actual human beings alive. Here's where Trump's reality distortion field reaches orbital velocity. He promised to lower grocery prices on day one of his presidency, delivered exactly nothing on that front, then pivoted to obsessing about magnets. Not metaphorical magnets of attraction or political magnetism, actual physical magnets.
If China refused to give magnets because they have a monopoly on magnets because they were allowed to happen over a 32-year period, there wouldn't be a car made in the entire world.
Because in Trump's universe, the solution to economic anxiety isn't addressing food costs or wages. It's delivering incoherent monologues about China's magnet monopoly. Trump's lecture about magnets exemplifies his entire approach to policy. Start with a kernel of reality, add layers of confusion, season with manufactured urgency, and serve with absolute confidence in your own expertise.
Nobody knows what magnets are.
Nobody knows what magnets are, according to the man who stared directly at a solar eclipse. Trump treats complex geopolitical and economic issues like they're simple puzzles only he can solve, despite consistently demonstrating he doesn't understand the basic mechanics of government, international trade, or apparently magnets. His speeches are jazz improvisation played by someone who never learned the scales, just pure stream-of-consciousness tangents, delivered with the authority of a man who has never been successfully contradicted by anyone in his orbit. The Trump presidency is a masterclass in misdirection. Promise to fix grocery prices, deliver magnet conspiracy theories. Promise healthcare for everyone, threaten to starve the poor. Promise to drain the swamp, pardon all the swamp creatures. It's a shell game where all three shells are empty, but Trump insists he's won, regardless of which one you choose. This is the man who turned politics into content creation and governing into branding, where the spectacle matters infinitely more than the substance.
Trump pulled a fast one in the middle of the night last night. He gave get-out-of-jail-free cards to all his cronies who were mixed up in the fake elector scheme.
Trump's midnight pardon spree reveals the transactional core of his entire political philosophy. Loyalty to Trump gets rewarded, consequences are for other people, and accountability is a myth for suckers who haven't figured out the game.
He pardoned 77 people last night, including Rudy Giuliani, Sidney Powell, the entire staff of the Four Seasons Total Landscaping, and the dildo shop next door.
77 pardons delivered under cover of darkness, because even Trump's press operation understands that some corruption plays better when America is asleep. The president pardoned everyone involved in the fake elector scheme, the very people who tried to overturn an election, and his White House press secretary had the audacity to call them great Americans persecuted for challenging an election. Notice the vacuum where Trump's self-awareness should be. His administration claims these people were defending democracy by literally trying to overthrow the democratic process. Trump has created a linguistic universe where words mean whatever he needs them to mean at any given moment. Persecution becomes justice, criminals become patriots, and accountability becomes political witch hunting. It's Orwellian, except Orwell's dystopia had more internal consistency.
The White House press secretary, Carolyn Leavitt, said these great Americans were persecuted and put through hell by the Biden administration for challenging an election, which is the cornerstone of democracy.
The midnight timing of the pardons tells you everything about Trump's relationship with shame and public perception. If you're proud of your actions, you announce them in daylight. If you're ashamed or politically calculating, you dump them at 2 a.m. when the news cycle is sleeping.
Which is why they pardoned them in the middle of the night. There's no such thing as shame anymore. Remember those PSAs in the 80s?
Trump operates in permanent damage control mode, forever managing the optics of corruption, rather than, not being corrupt. His administration announced these pardons in darkness, not just to minimize coverage, but because exposing Rudy Giuliani to direct sunlight might actually cause him to burst into flames, as Kimmel accurately noted. Trump's pardon strategy exemplifies his larger approach to accountability. There is none. He treats presidential pardons like participation trophies for everyone who went down trying to keep him in power. Rudy Giuliani, Sidney Powell, and the entire cast of the Four Seasons Total Landscaping press conference circus got their get-out-of-jail-free cards. Because in Trump's universe, loyalty trumps legality every single time. The president has turned the pardon power into a protection racket for his allies, a presidential insurance policy that says, "Go ahead and commit crimes on my behalf. I'll make it disappear later." Trump manages to be both punchline and setup simultaneously. He creates the chaos, pardons the chaos creators, then declares victory over the chaos he manufactured. It's a self-sustaining ecosystem of corruption, where accountability evaporates before it can take hold. His confidence is so unearned, it could power a small nation on sheer audacity alone, combined with the enabling of a political party that has collectively decided that principles are negotiable, but power is not. The beautiful absurdity of Trump's pardon justification is that challenging election results is supposedly the cornerstone of democracy. Yet the people he pardoned weren't challenging results through legitimate legal channels. They were creating fake electors, pressuring state officials, and attempting to overturn certified results through fraud and intimidation. Trump has reframed criminal conspiracy as civic duty, which is exactly the kind of reality inversion you'd expect from a man who measures self-worth in crowd sizes and electoral college victories he's still relitigating years later. Trump turned the presidency into the world's most expensive selfie, where every decision, every pardon, every policy serves the singular purpose of protecting and elevating Donald Trump. The 41-day shutdown, the SNAP benefit cuts, the magnet obsession, the midnight pardons, they're all chapters in the same book, a biography written in real time where Trump is simultaneously author, protagonist, and sole intended audience. We're all extras in his lifelong production. And the most exhausting part is that Trump never stops performing, because he genuinely believes this is the only show worth watching. The show never ends, because Trump never stops producing content. Every day brings a new spectacle, a fresh outrage, another demonstration that shame is dead, and accountability is optional if you're shameless enough and powerful enough to get away with it. Trump is both setup and punchline, forever trapped in a reality show where he's the only viewer who thinks he's winning, while the rest of us watch in horrified fascination as he mistakes chaos for strategy and cruelty for strength. This is American politics in 2025, a circus where the ringmaster bankrupted multiple casinos but somehow convinced millions he's a stable genius, and where threatening to starve poor people is just another Tuesday in Trump's America.